He's Jerry West, the Hall of Famer, Clipper consultant, and of course, former consultant with the Warriors and former GM of the LA Lakers. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How was the hunting trip in West Virginia?
Well, it was really fun. I got a chance to see some friends back there, and the weather was, even though it was a little chilly, it was beautiful this time of year back there. So back there for 2-3 days and got a chance. My son was there, so we had a really good time.
Did you get to watch the Clippers come back against the Warriors?
I sure did. Sure did.
That's crazy. How do you explain that?
Well, Dan, there's some things that are not explainable, and I think sometimes sports is probably, in many ways, if you can recapture some of the dramatic things that have happened in sports over the years, some of the really iconic moments. This had to be one of them, and for a reason. When they introduced the Warriors team, you say, "Oh my gosh!" There's 4 or 5 All-Stars out there, and then they introduced the Clipper team, which doesn't get a lot of love in terms of special players. You almost think, "Oh my gosh, how can they compete?" Well, they can compete, and they do compete, and they've done some things this year have been simply amazing, and really have to get a lot of credit to our coaching staff. They've got these guys in a place where they think they can beat anyone, regardless of what people say about odds. They just compete, and it's fun to watch, and it's fun to be part of. It really is.
I think there was a quote from Patrick Beverley, who, after Tobias Harris was traded, went to management and said, "Are we tanking?" And then management said no. Did that happen?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I think a lot of players question, a lot of things that are done, and we have a very open group of people over here. Working with Lawrence Franks has been really fun. He's a good guy. He doesn't take himself real seriously, but he is one of the hardest working people. And I think all the stuff that was done over there was pretty well thought out. This organization does some really, really good things behind the scenes. A lot of meetings, a lot of studying for the future. What can we do to position ourselves better going forward? And everyone talks about free agency. Free agency, to me, is something that you wait and see if people want to go somewhere. We got a lot of assets out of that trade, and the people we traded, Tobias, Boban, and Mike Scott, every one of those guys were as nice or as professional as I have ever met in my life. They are fantastic people, and this is what has made this place special. All these players, there's not one star on this team. There's a bunch of people that are really good players that don't get a lot of credit. But the biggest thing is they're just great people. If you're around them, you feel like it's your family. I've never seen a team that has no hidden agendas at all. This is just fantastic to watch and be part of.
You have talked to me numerous times about it was so hard to watch the Lakers when you were the GM. Are you able to watch the Clippers as a consultant? Is it different?
Oh, it's completely different. I think at those times, Dan, you're so intimately involved, and we didn't have tons of people working for us, and it was you just feel so much part of it, and you're there every day. I'm not there every day, but I communicate with these people. I go over there frequently and interact with the people, team, the coaches, the staff over there. And when you're making decisions, Dan, sometimes it's not a lot of fun. You're a judge, jury, executioner. You're subjected to a lot of kind of mean things that people say about you, but it's what the NBA has become today. But this place, I will give credit to the owner, Steve Ballmer. This is one of the nicest men I have ever been around in my life. He is an incredible competitor. And, with inheriting a franchise led by Don Sterling, you only hoped that he was going to be better. But he's exceeded that in terms of who he is as a person. He's just a fantastic person. And be around him, he reminds me of Jerry Buss a little bit, except, of course, he's a lot richer. But he's just kind of a people person, and he loves people. If you're around him, you would not know anything about him. You say, "Oh my gosh, this is one of the nicest people to be around." And I think this organization reflects that. And as I say, Lawrence Franks, I couldn't give enough credit to. He's really assembled some great people over there, and obviously some people would like to take some of those people, but he's just done a great job and kind of sets the tone. We've just have a great staff. It's been a lot of fun for me.
He's Jerry West, the Hall of Famer, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. We had the comedian Jeff Garlin on, and he's now our new NBA insider. He said he sat next to you at a Clipper game and Steve Ballmer, and he said, hey, I got the inside scoop that Jerry West loves Ja Morant, and maybe he would be the best player in the draft. So do you want to confirm or deny what the NBA insider Jeff Garlin said about your love of Ja Morant?
Well, I think in today's game, you have to look at players that players that translate their games translate to what is the NBA. Obviously, there's two players out there that are going to get a whole lot of attention. Zion Williamson, my goodness, he's like a human highlight film. He's going to fill the arenas every night. But every once in a while, you see another unique player who did not get a lot of attention until later in the year, but he is really a special player. I think I love him. He's a highlight film himself, along with Zion, but didn't get as much publicity. I think both of them are great prospects. And when you look at the needs of teams, what are most people looking for to start with? They're looking for a leader. And sometimes a leader is harder to find than a spectacular player like Zion. But as I say, either one of them would, on any team, anyone would love to have those two guys. I just think they're can't miss prospects, and with all the publicity Zion's gotten, if you've been around him, oh my gosh, this is one of the nicest people you've ever seen in your life. He's so grounded. And he's going to appeal, oh, my goodness. Whoever gets him, sellouts every night. On the road, sellouts every night. And I think the Moran kid, even though he's going to probably take a little bit of time, I think he's going to be as special as anyone in this draft.
If you had the number one pick, you had to choose, who would you take?
Well, as I say, I think it depends on the team, but I don't know how you could pass Zion Williamson. I really don't. That would be like passing Michael Jordan in the draft, I
think. and we want to always go, well, who's he remind you of? And a lot of times you'll find comparisons. I don't know who was Zion Williamson before Zion Williamson.
No one. I've never seen a body that big, that quick, react the way it does. He has got incredible balance. His ability to avoid charges, and in college, that's a hard thing to do. He has the ability to do that. But I think the thing that makes him, he's just like when he does something on the court, everyone now will be on the edge of their seats when he's going to watch him play to see what he's going to do next. But oh my goodness, he's fun to watch, and his game is going to work very well in today's modern NBA game. I've never seen a body jump. The second jump is quicker than the first one. He's a remarkable talent, but he also is a basketball player. This is not just someone who plays on a trampoline. He's really good.
What was your reaction when Magic stepped down?
You know what? I was really surprised. I've always had the greatest affection for him. When you're around someone that has led a team the way he does, and did here when he was with the Lakers, and also going through his retirement thing, which was probably the most difficult thing I've ever had to deal with personally, because you weren't really concerned about basketball. I think the whole Laker organization, as I mentioned at that time, wasn't very big. No one was concentrating on basketball. It took about 2 weeks for people to get back into, I guess, the swing of things and said, where are we going from here? But I was shocked. I thought he was, his voice for an organization like that is very, very important. The love for people having him in Los Angeles was surprising to me.
Yeah, I think it's still surprising that we're trying to figure out what happened there. And look, I know you get drawn back into the vortex that is the Lakers, but I just, out of respect for what you meant to that organization, even Shaq saying they need to bring you back, and I said, I think Jerry's having fun with the Clippers. I don't know why I would put him, persecute him and put him back into the Lakers organization right now.
Well, as I say, anything that's an iconic brand today, anything that has been around and has had a much love and effect on this city as the Lakers, in today's world, it's an easy target. It really is. And when people, talk about, where they're going to win a championship, that puts a lot of pressure on a bunch of guys who hadn't played together. But, they had tons of injuries this year. My goodness, it wasn't, you can't. Injuries are part of the game, but when they happen to people that are important to your team and the people that you expect to lead, it just puts them in a terrible place. And obviously all the social media people, attacking people, they have some really nice people over there. And my son works there, and I know when he and I talk, it pains him to see some of the stuff is written, and in many cases it's not fair. But people are going to hold them to a higher level, as with the New York Yankees, the New England Patriots. These iconic brands, they're susceptible to that, and it's just not. It doesn't seem quite fair. It really doesn't.
Now, you're given credit as convincing KD to join the Warriors.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I get a lot of credit, which I don't deserve, to be honest with you. But, Dan, as I say, the Warriors, as I say, when I see them introduce their lineup, I say to myself, my God, what a great job that organization, which I was part of for a while, has put together up there. And, again, there's always going to be criticism directed at players and everything. And as I say, I was there when Kevin was there. He's a he's a terrific person. But anyway, I'm not going to be talking about the Warriors. I'm just hoping the Clippers can make this a very respectable series. And hopefully, if they lose a game like they did the other night, people are going to go crazy. But you can't. This league, there are 440 people playing in NBA. And when you watch the NBA today, one of the things I think is really interesting, everyone there is competitive. Everyone there is a good player. And there's different degrees of players. And you just can't discount the fact this Clipper team this year has done that more than once. They've done it 3 times already. But in the playoff, when things are highlighted, there's going to be more talk. So it's been fun to watch, and hopefully Thursday night we'll have a lot of fans, and obviously there are going to be tons of Warrior fans. But I think the thing that makes it kind of interesting, the ownership of the Warriors. I had a great relationship with those people up there, and now it's just fun to. Competition is fun, and if you don't like competition, you better not be in this business.
How would you do against Patrick Beverley in your playing days?
I'd probably bring a handgun. He's amazing. You know what? Actually, you really have those kind of players make you play better. I truly believe they make you play better.
He's not afraid.
Dan, he's not afraid of anything, and he's one of the greatest people. If you're around him, you walk away and say, "Oh my God, what a great guy!" He's special. And to me, he's one of the most valuable players in the league. I would, if I were in a foxhole and there was 200 people out there trying to kill you, he would be the one I'd want to be in there with. He's fearless, Dan. My gosh, he is fearless, and he is unbelievably valuable. And our players really look up to him. And listen, some of the stuff he does out there, he's irritating, and if you get caught up in that. But he also is a good player. That's where people don't, they just look at him moment. He's an irritant. Hey, no, he's really good. If he doesn't score a point, he's so valuable to the Clippers.
It's great to catch up with you. And birthday coming up in May, right?
Oh, my goodness, yes, a lot of them, Dan. A whole lot of them. You can come out and celebrate with them. I don't celebrate them. There's so many now. I don't celebrate them. You and I can go out and have a birthday dinner quietly. You're in town. You can be my guest.
All right, that's awesome. Hey, the Clippers, as I said to Doc Rivers a couple of weeks ago, I love watching them because they never quit. And that says a lot to the people who were behind the scenes, too, who brought in these players who You may not know them, but man, I love when they take the floor because there's no quit in them, and that's reflective, I think, of the people who brought him in. So, credit to you and Doc and Steve Ballmer as well. But it's always great to talk to you.
It's been fun, Dan. It really has. And Doc and Lawrence Frank have been, oh my gosh, they've done just a fantastic job, and it's fun to see how people react when they're around, even though they don't get a lot of love. Doc does, but Lawrence doesn't get enough love. That's for sure.
Well, good to talk to you, and thanks again as always, Jerry.
Anytime, Dan. My best to you.
That's Jerry West, Clippers advisor.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV, stream for free on BR Live, or download the Dan Patrick Show app.